What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another video. Sitting on my phone like it usually is. I have my webcam and stuff set up because I had a couple things going on earlier today, but I just wanted to talk about kind of where I'm at in Japanese. I want to start doing, I know I mentioned wanting to do kind of weekly Japanese updates and stuff, which I also wanted to start doing interviews, and it's just been a crazy year, but the one thing that has been the same is my Japanese, and so I wanted to talk about what I've done. Basically, I'd like to do these every week, kind of what I'm immersing in, sentence cards, that whole thing. And so I wanted to just talk briefly about what I've been doing for the past week, or realistically about the past 12 days, since we're 12 days into January. But so far, I finally cracked the code on getting into sentence mining, and this is something that I've wanted to do for a long time. As I think many of you know, I've talked about wanting to do it before, and I could never wrap my head around it. And so what I finally did is that I switched the languages to, as a matter of fact, I switched it to Chinese. Now, I know that I said I was studying Chinese a little bit, but I honestly, I've been pretty much strictly Japanese this whole year. I did have a brief couple of days where I was doing Chinese for a little bit, but mainly to get into the flow of doing sentence mining. And I know that there probably is an argument of, well, why did you do that? Why would you not just do it in Japanese? But I can't explain it, man. Sometimes my brain just works in different ways. And so my logic was, if I spend a day or two trying to sentence mine in Chinese, I can have the symbols, the characters that I recognize, or at least see if I could recognize them. And plus, from the grammar is pretty similar, maybe I could kind of at least get an idea of what I'm doing. Now, the odds are I could have just stuck with it through Japanese and forced through it, but it wasn't working. I've been trying to do this for a pretty long time. And so I switched to Chinese. In the first 2 days, I mined about 30 cards, and I was like, okay, so I have an idea as what I'm doing right now. I could have done it with Spanish or anything, honestly. I just chose Chinese. So once I did that, switched back to Japanese, and I don't know, just the way that I use learn languages with Netflix and things like that, I've kind of found a system that works for me. Again, I do have a new computer that is on the way, and once that comes, I'm going to try to do a video of how I do all this stuff, because my computer currently won't let me record the display, and I would have to do that in order to show you guys, because it's multiple windows. But I kind of have a system now that works, and switching to a language that parsed a little bit better helped me kind of figure out what I was doing. And so I have mined so far 20 cards, but I didn't start until January the 7th. And then there was a couple of days that I kind of just immersed and didn't really worry about the sentence cards. And but yeah, so we're at 20 cards. I'm actually getting ready to mine some right now. I don't have a goal, if you're looking for 10 or 15 or 20 a day or whatever it may be, this is not the place. I'm doing what I'm comfortable with. If I find a sentence, cool. If not, no big deal. And we're just going to kind of keep on trucking that way. And that's been working for me really, really, really well. So I'm excited about that. I don't have a target for, I'm not going to say I want to have 100 cards by the end of this month or anything of that nature. I just want to enjoy the process. Now, what I am doing, because I did have somebody ask me this, every card is just one word that I don't know, and then everything else is understandable. It is the +1 or target one or whatever you want to call it way. Now, if there is a grammar pattern on something that may confuse me a little bit, but it's I kind of know it, I do make a little note on there for that grammar pattern, and that seems to work. I wish I had an example. I don't have my Anki up, but I will do that. So, for example, let's say, for example, if I said I like to watch TV, which would be terebi o miru no hou ga suki desu, I would put the no hou ga suki desu, and then put verb. I would just make a little bit of a sentence there, just explaining what I'm doing. So that has gone well. I've also gotten back into passive listening. I've been doing 4, 5, sometimes 6 hours, but for the most part, I would say a good average of 5 hours a day of passive listening. Stuff on YouTube, stuff on shows that I'm watching actively, I will do, and that has helped picking up a couple things here or there. And if nothing else, again, just how much my not listening comprehension, but listening skills, just being able to hear Japanese a little bit more clearly every single day since especially since I've got back into doing this super hardcore again, and it feels really, really good to get back into that. So yeah, passive listening is up as well. And then I'm not, like, right now I'm not trying to hit a certain amount of time, but between the 4 or 5 hours I spend passive listening, and then usually I'll start about 9 or 9:30 with immersing, and I'll sit in mine for a little bit and then immerse, usually honestly till about midnight. So sometimes 3 hours a night of kind of that active stuff, and that's going really well. Now, another thing I am doing, and this will be the split in the fan base, so to speak. Not saying I have a fan base, but split in the Japanese fan base. And that is that I am using Duolingo a little bit every day. And I'm not using it to learn vocabulary. That's not what I'm using it for. What I'm using it for, and what I've found to be very beneficial and very, very helpful, which I guess is what beneficial would mean there, and that is I am using it to practice my reading. So I see these sentences, I know 90% of the kanji already, or I at least know the word, and seeing it in sentences in multiple different ways outside of immersion, like, it's more targeted learning with that, and that in itself has helped me. I can't even tell you how much it's helped me. And then also it'll help with a couple of grammatical patterns here or there. There was something the other day, I can't remember what it was. If I saw it, I would know it. Like, I would have the recognition aspect of it down. But just helping with a couple of things like that, and I'm enjoying it. So I'm not going to stop doing the couple of minutes a day I do for a supplemental thing. Take Him, I finally said that I wanted to bite the bullet and jump into it. That is something that I have done. I am a little bit through. I don't even really know where I'm at. I'm like 7 or 8 chapters into that. Like, we're through like the verbs and adjectives and stuff. I haven't gotten into like the clauses and things like that, because I do think that it probably is important for me to read that, but that's a little bit more advanced for me than where I'm at right now probably. But also, I think that sometimes when I read those examples, it can actually confuse me even more. And so I think once I get just kind of a grasp of the general, like, basic grammar, I'm not saying 100% sure because I'm not there yet. Within the book, I may be in real life, I just don't know it yet. But by the book, I'm probably going to try to learn a lot of stuff through grammar, and probably through some sort of teacher, through italki or something like that, because reading that stuff is really confusing to me a lot of times. I actually logged into, and I still love Lingo Deer, I just don't use it that much, because I logged in and I was going through some of the N4 grammar, and I think a lot of it has to do with the sentences that are being used. It's just not something I care about, and so I think it makes it a little bit harder to kind of know what's going on. And so yeah, I don't know, it's just, I'm kind of putting that on the back burner right now. I'll tell you what I wish there was an application like Hello Chinese for Japanese, because Hello Chinese is like a mixture of Duolingo and Lingo Deer, but like kind of the best of both worlds, and it's done perfectly, I think. Plus it has an entire immersion category, which is fantastic. So I would love to have that, but it doesn't exist. I know that Duolingo is adding Japanese stories, and they're actually about to, I think they've already started rolling out a beta tree that has like 40 more topics. But anyway, as a supplement, it is what it is. But plus it's cool, like, if I go on, if I'm on lunch at work and I literally have 5 minutes to pop my phone open, I can get a little bit of reading practice like that. So, which brings me to my next topic, which is reading. And I haven't been doing much, honestly. It's just not something that I've wanted to do. I've had a lot of fun watching TV shows. I've watched a little bit of Castlevania. I've watched, currently, the show that I'm mining actually is JoJo's Big Adventure, which is a little bit tough. And when I mentioned that on Twitter, somebody was like, I think that's pretty tough. You should try, this show or that show. And I may, probably I'll start mining a little bit more from like slice of life anime versus that, just to get a little bit better of a feel for what's going on. Plus, probably be a little bit easier to make sentence cards from. But we'll get to that point, I guess. I don't know. I might do it tonight. I don't know. But that's what I'm watching. And of course, I'll throw the occasional Kantar, the Sweet Tooth Salaryman on there and things like that. But I'm always looking for show recommendations. If you have, any anime or TV shows that you would recommend in Japanese, feel free to let me know. I'm always looking to check those out. So I don't know, like I go through back and forth where I really would like to read a bit on Link, but honestly, I think what I'm doing right now is pretty much perfect. I do think Link could be beneficial, but I also think that I don't want to also add that because I don't want to add too many things. I probably will once my level gets up a little bit more, but with as far as reading subtitles and stuff like that, I can use Learn Languages with Netflix and then make sentence cards. That way it's more targeted learning as well. So I'm probably going to stick with that for a while. And I've also found a way to make, I did sign up for Learn Languages with the Netflix Premium, and I basically have color-coded a system for myself that is, you've seen it, you're studying it, you almost know it, and then known. So I don't know. I'm probably going to stick with that. Now, Link obviously is beneficial for YouTube videos and stuff, but I think for the time being, I think I'm going to just, for sentence mining specifically, I'm going to stick with Learn Languages with the Netflix. So I do think it's really cool. Eric from Link is trying to read 10,000 words a week, I believe it was, which I think is really, really cool. He had a second video up on that on the Link channel earlier today, and I watched it, and it was pretty cool. So, but I think that's about it, really. I just wanted to give an update, kind of what I'm doing, and just, talk about some of that stuff. I really don't think there's anything else, man. I don't use the pre-made decks anymore. I haven't used the N5 or the N4 deck that I was working through. I'm just doing straight up sentence mining and learning via context. And the first part of January so far has been incredible. This is what I want to keep doing, and I'm not adding Pimsleur, I'm not adding this, I'm not adding that. I'm just having fun learning Japanese, and it is working right now really, really fantastic, because I did kind of hit a wall. But anyway, this video is I wanted to do a short. I can't just speak, and that's what happens when I don't script videos. I really hope that this video had some sort of information for you, and I hope that it answered any kind of questions as to what I'm doing. Once my new computer is here, it should be here at the beginning of February, I am going to hopefully be able to show you guys more of like an in-depth how my sentence mining and things like that work. And yeah, so that's just a little update. 12 days into January. I'm going to try to make one of these, like I said, about every week or at least every other week. That way you kind of know where I'm at. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all in the next video.